Every year, about 40 million tons of plastic are released into the oceans. In particular, in the Mediterranean, we estimate the amount of 53,000 tons of plastic, and because of the particular coastal and wind conditions, 80% of them return to the coast, hence back to Earth. Plastic bottles play an important role in terms of volume. Specifically, Italy is the first consumer in Europe and the third in the world for per capita consumption of bottled water. It's estimated that in Italy every year 11 billion liters of bottled beverages are consumed, resulting in 460,000 tons. Also, the production of plastic water bottles is estimated to emit between 900,000 and 1.4 million tons of CO2 equivalent, not considering transportation for delivery. Recycling is only a partial solution. In Italy, more than 60% of PET water bottles, about 7 billion of bottles, are not recycled, and just 5% of recycled PET is used for new bottles. The reduction of single-use plastics is by far a more effective solution, but it requires radical policies and measures. Various policies and regulations at European and national level introduce restrictions on single-use plastics starting from 2021 with increasingly stringent requirements. In Italy, the complete ban on disposable bottles is still a long way off. From 2025, PET bottles will have to contain at least 25% recycled plastic, a percentage that will rise to 30% starting from 2030. In any case, these policies must be supported by an accompaniment of society to promote different habits and new supply infrastructures. For reducing single-use plastic, we should change behaviors and practices, both individual and collective practices, towards more sustainable ways of life. One example in this direction is changing habits of water consumption towards tap water preference. Let's start imagining a higher education campus as a possible testbed for changing behaviors. For instance, the Politecnico di Milano is a community of about 50,000 people, more than 47,000 students and 2,600 staff members. A small city indeed. Politecnico di Milano is at the forefront in Italy for promoting sustainability, with an experience of more than 10 years of policies and projects for campus sustainability. Water is one of the strategic pillars in the environmental sustainability plan. In fact, more than 83 drinking water dispensers are already operating in Milan campuses since more than 5 years. Nevertheless, according to our surveys and interviews, first, the majority of staff and students declare to drink tap water from dispensers at Polimi campuses, but some of them still prefer bottled water at home as they don't trust all the public water infrastructure. And vending machines on the main campus still sold about 150,000 water bottles per year in 2021. Second, almost all staff and students believe limescale and calcium in Milan tap water is risky for health and is unpleasant to taste. But the majority of people cannot distinguish tap water from mineral water if they taste it blind. Third, students and staff practices are influenced by the habits of their social circles of colleagues and friends. So, it is important working on perceptions and beliefs, and with people, to achieve a change in social norms. Our research question is, how can a higher education institution promote a change in behavior and practices? We start with a series of important premises. Firstly, raising awareness on the devastating effect of plastic on the environment is not enough. People are now over-informed by media and social networks about the urgent environmental and climate challenges society is facing and often think that recycling is enough. Secondly, informing and communicating to our community on the very good tap water quality on campuses is not enough. Few people look at bottled water labels and check water quality data reported. This is because choices are not always driven by scientific information. Thirdly, banning plastic on campuses is not always the right solution. Scientists demonstrated that this measure sometimes triggers an increase in sugar beverages consumption when replacing plastic bottles with other types of beverages in cans. Providing branded flasks to people, it was okay at first, maybe some years ago, but now most young people already own more than one, with the side effect of increasing waste production even more. Providing water filling stations or fountains, that's not enough as well. Politecnico did it already, but still about 150,000 plastic water bottles are sold every year at our vending machines. Why are all these measures not enough? This is because at university, as it happens in other types of communities as well, behaviors and practices are influenced also by beliefs, habits, perceptions, value attribution, which have to be explored and investigated in depth in order to identify change levers. So, how can we change the way a university promotes change? We argue that we can achieve results shifting the focus from prohibiting plastic or alarming people about devastating effects of plastic to identifying and promoting a new and alternative valuable experience around drinking water, in particular tap water. Working on experience means focusing on the material and immaterial factors that influence people's interaction with products or services, then working with users on changing them for proposing an understandable and valuable alternative experience. Hence, we decided to bring this approach at Politecnico and initiate a research project and a real case study setting that integrates scientific knowledge on water quality, service, and urban design towards the conception of a new experience of collection and consumption of tap water. We aim to co-design a better experience for making sustainable practices easier to all and outlining new policies that might help in delivering a real impact in behavioral change. So we gave birth to the ASAP project, an acronym that stands for Acqua Sostenibile al Politecnico, Sustainable Water at Politecnico, but also gives clearly back the idea of the urgency of acting for facing the challenge of reducing plastic bottle consumption. The project is led by Eliante, an NGO committed to promote sustainability, the Department of Environmental and Civic Engineering, the Department of Architecture and Urban Studies, and the University Sustainability Unit. The project is supported as part of the wider Sustainable Campus framework. ASAP project is founded on 3 pillars: going beyond information towards co-creating a new experience, bridging research and action for increasing the impact, valorizing Polyme's multidisciplinarity and multi-partnerships around the topic of water. With ASAP, we analyze the practices and perceptions in our community through interviews with students and staff and through observation. We analyzed and monitored water quality on campus, both in water dispensers and taps. We organized co-design activities both with students and the university management staff. We engaged the community with communication activities on social networks. What we found is that perceptions, experience, and social norms strongly influence practices about water collection and consumption. Analysis proved that tap water quality is better than filtered water from dispensers. Co-design activities better grasp needs and the desires of final communities to come up with original ideas and while proactively engaging participants. Integrated strategies and diversified solutions are needed for building a structured, sustainable offer of tap water provision. The ASAP project has generated awareness and a new sensitivity within our community. It also produced new recommendations for future strategies and plans on water and provided technical solutions to support the design and installation of new devices for improving the access and experience to tap water in indoor and outdoor spaces.